pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Apologize to everybody for the 15-minute late start.
Yeah, thank you.
Work session overran a little
Merry
bit.
Christmas.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, I would entertain a motion to approve the non-public or public meeting minutes from the
Recording
12/5/24 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
No, I had to stop.
Okay, we have a motion by Les, second by Don. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda for 12/19/24, consisting of accounts payable manifest dated 12/11/24, accounts payable manifest dated 12/18/24, payroll payment manifest dated 12/19/24, appointment of Scott Severn to the planning board as an alternative member for 3 years, distribution of funds from the recreation/patriotic special events fund in the amount of $1,394.06. Distribution of funds from the special events CTF in the amount of 1,000. Why is that twice?
Same number.
That's the same
Yeah,
thing.
it will be. It's two different accounts.
Oh, okay, different
I
account.
put a memo explaining, but I can explain that once you get through your
Okay,
motion, sorry.
okay. Yeah,
1,000.
special events CTF in the amount of $1,394.06. Approval of penalties or seasonal customers for water and sewer in the amount of $200. Transfer of funds from the water department's operating fund in the amount of $32,174.86. Transfer of funds from the water department's operating fund in the amount of $30,646.24.
Any discussion? Or second by Scott? Any discussion?
I think
Do you need
he
any-
accidentally said water on the last
Yeah.
one, it should have been sewer.
Oh, sewer instead of water, but, yeah.
Okay.
Do you understand why what we're doing on the
No,
special
what's the,
events
what's the
and
thing
the
with the
recreation?
CTF?
So, do you remember that at the beginning of the year, the trustee, that we advised you that there was a check that had been bounced? So there was a charge that came out of the fireworks account that wasn't part of the original budgeted planned amount. It was an extra fee we got charged because we had to have fireworks barges moved. So in the cross, it's taken us a little bit of time to resolve
Wait,
it.
extra fee for having the barges moved?
We had to have the barges removed by a different provider.
Oh, yes, those barges.
Yes.
Yes.
So, in the cross, this has been sitting because, because we were trying to figure out, before we were gonna charge it to the contingency, but it's a 2023 reimbursement from a reserve fund. So we can't charge it to a contingency, so I talked to Les, mainly because Les is involved with these accounts, not the recreation patriotic as much, but the special events CTF. I didn't have enough in the recreation patriotic to resolve the issue. The total amount, we would have wiped out the recreation, which is technically the fireworks, and we wouldn't have had enough to still pay for it. So we decided we didn't want to wipe out either account. We want, to resolve it, we split the difference, and we're taking, and both accounts are for either event, it doesn't matter.
Right.
The recreation is the warrant article, and the other one is donations.
So this charge was for removal and disposal?
No. This charge was from 2023 for taking them away from the beach.
Where they were left till late in the season.
This is 2023, and the check was
Okay.
bounced in
Yeah.
2024.
And where did they end up?
Now they're gone, but,
Okay, so you just took half out of each account?
yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I'm I'm having a hard time understanding why it cost $2,800.
No, it was 1,500. So this is the check that bounced because of that check. This is different. So if you look in your file, sorry for the confusion. So if you look in your file, under the work session folder, which is number 5, go to,
Work session's number 3.
Consent agenda, you meant?
Consent, yeah,
Oh, 10-4.
I'm having a week.
Distribution of funds.
Yeah, so
I
if
see.
you look at number CA, number 5 and number 6, I'll pull them up. If you roll down, this is the original request from 2024 in February. It was a 2023 payment that was coming, and then this is another 2023. This is Hell's Gate's contract when they did the show in 2023. And then there were, don't look at this, this is awful, we don't do this anymore. But this was all money that was taken out of the fireworks fund. But because we had paid for the barges to be removed and had those taken also out of the fireworks fund, it bounced this one. See, sorry for this confusion.
Why does that make the total different though? Or is that what you're asking, Rob?
Do you understand what I mean?
So which, the $2,400 check bounced?
No, a 2,700, so
$2,788.12.
$88.12
Okay, to
Bounced.
who?
to the town. Trustees have to issue a check to the town.
Right, okay.
So they bounced the check because they didn't realize, something crossed. So
Gotcha.
they had paid 1,500 out, and then when they went to pay this out, it bounced a check.
So this has nothing to do with us paying a vendor?
No, the reason the check bounced is because we paid the vendor out of this account
Out of the general fund, and then.
Right.
and then reimbursed it out of the capital reserve. It's not the vendor's fault, it's ours and the trustees. Okay?
All
So,
right, sorry about
Just-
that, just wanted,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just to
Before
get
we
the
vote on
bookkeeping. Okay.
any other discussion before we vote?
sorry about the
Okay,
confusion.
all those in favor of approving consent agenda?
Aye.
All right,
Good God.
sorry about that.
So much for the consent.
Chief
agenda.
LaRoche, HMP grant discussion,
Routine.
you're up.
Yeah, so this is, it's just some housekeeping, obviously the HMP grant, all the work's been done on it, it's just since approval, we've amended it. It needs to be amended again so that they can pay out the $7,500, the state that they owe us, so, normally they send you the exact language they want you to use. They did not, and so what I put in there in italics, if you're looking at it, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, that, is my best stab at previous iterations of such amendments. So if you could just make that motion, approve it. I would ask that we just have the select board sign it. There's 4 spaces for signature. I think that's how all the other documents for this grant were done, and it would just be cleaner. And then in a month or so, or a couple weeks, when I get these minutes, I can send it to the state and GNC can approve. Our reimbursement
I
at
don't
some
believe we can vote to have you sign this.
No, this has to be the board. So, it's kind of like, do you remember when we just did the police grant?
The one I just signed today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, a few weeks ago. But this requires, if you look at number 6 in your folders, that's the first one is the motion. But if you look at the grant agreement amendment one that looks like this, the sub-recipient and the way the state explains it is it can't be me. So
Gotcha.
you can't even authorize me, it has to be you. So there are 4 lines, and then each we can initial and fix it later, but you just would need to sign it.
Okay.
And I have it here.
Would somebody like to move that?
Make a motion, the Bristol Select Board approves the grant agreement amendment extension performance period regarding the grant agreement PO number 1084438 between the Town of Bristol Department of Safety Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management, changing the project completion date from May 29, 2023 to May 29, 2025, and to authorize the Select Board to sign the amendment.
Okay.
Okay, motion by Carol, second by Scott to approve the HMP grant amendment. Any discussion? Motion by Carol, second by Les to approve the HMP grant amendment. Any discussion?
Just why is there only 4 signatures and not 5?
Then they make the form.
Yeah, just make a line.
Who's not,
We can
oh,
just-
so we just add them.
Yeah, just that.
All right, well,
All
that's,
right, all those in
that's Les's
favor?
job.
I
Aye.
can do it.
Okay, thank you.
We did take this out of our revenues when we estimated revenues, from this year, and we have put it to next year because we're not gonna get the reimbursement until next year, so.
All right, great.
Do I have anything else?
No, I'll give this to you tomorrow.
All right, the moment everybody's been waiting for.
Have a nice chief.
You as well.
I'm not making any savers, encumbrances, it's pretty cut and dry, so, just so you know.
Tax rate discussion.
Oops, I really am falling behind tonight. So under number,
All those people from Facebook aren't here.
I was say under number 7,
I'm representing them all, I guess.
Wow.
Okay.
I did a bunch of scenarios for you under number 7. I did, so right now, if we do not apply anything to, we apply no fund balance, minimum $10,000 overlay, which is fine because that's all we need. It adjusts it. So this system is confusing. So the reason I have 20 and 10 varying is because it automatically adjusts it. And when certain ones adjusted down when I was using a $10,000 overlay when I was doing it, it adjusted it too low and we've spent money, so I had to adjust it to 20 in order to cover the money we've spent. So that's why you see different overlays. But if you look at without fund balance, the tax rate goes to $24.51. It's $1.76 overall, and the town would be $1.11 increase. That's without fund balance.
And
Page 5 is the page that some of you might want to look at. It's the current amount in our fund balance. We currently have 9.29%. The DRA recommends you keep between 5 and 17. 5% is the minimum, and 17 is the maximum. Last year, we did use fund balance, and we let our fund balance go way low. It was way down, it was just over 5%. So we're not recommending to drop it that low, but we gave you plenty of examples so that you could see them. So I don't know if you want me,
do you have that, where else, oh, you sent it out, where else, where was that, where all the examples were on one page? I know I looked at it at
well,
home
here,
today,
it's,
but
it's in, if you go back to this, you can see what they are, but you have to click on them.
So,
I didn't send them,
wait, I'm just seeing the proposals. I don't see anything where you're showing what current fund balance is.
go to page 5 in one of the proposals.
Oh,
go to
it's-
the
it's-
no-
Oh, it's underneath.
Sorry,
one of
yeah,
the
go to
proposals?
the one with no fund balance. If you go
Yeah.
to the one with no fund balance on page
Oh,
5,
okay.
this is your current.
Oh, okay,
you
now,
go,
I wasn't
please go a little
scrolling down.
slower
That's right.
for me,
Go to
please.
the no fund balance, one, the sample that says no fund balance. I put it up on the screen too. This is where it shows what our current fund balance is, 9.92%, 9.29%, 1.4 million.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't want percentage, I want a
We were, last year, we dropped it to 680,000 at the end of the year.
What, where's the current tax breakdown?
No fund balance here. Oh,
2023.
2023, the current tax, I can get that on the screen.
I'm trying to, I can't remember where it is on the website.
That's right.
I think I found it.
Pretty sure it's under tax.
Thanks.
It is, but it goes for the
I got it
assessors
right
to-
number. Find it.
So current town rate is 9.53, current school rate is 9.43, current state rate 2, current county 179.
179 county,
Yeah.
is it?
Yep. I
So
can,
if we brought it to a minimum recommendation of 5%, we'd be applying almost $700,000, is that right?
It would be, well, 600, that, I didn't run a scenario for 700,000, the highest I ran was 600. Lindsay and I would be really concerned, I know that you are, that would bring, if you do 600,000, it's 5.56. Our concern is that cash on hand is also affected by this, and we've seen that, because we had, well, this wasn't all our fault, but we've seen that we've had to watch fund money this year like a hawk, to make sure that we didn't have to get a tan, and then we still had to get a tan, not because we did it, but, so that's the only caveat I throw out there.
So just for the public watching, or maybe watching, for the record, the county tax is going up 3 cents per thousand. The local education tax has gone up 57 cents per thousand.
Yep.
And the state education tax has gone up 5 cents per thousand.
Oops, that's not right.
The current municipal rate is at 9.53.
We go up $1.11 if we don't apply anything.
If we apply nothing, we go up $1.11.
Yeah.
And if we apply 500,000, we go up 6 cents.
11 cents, right, isn't it about 500,000 is a dollar?
No, it's
600 now.
We're at 959, is what we'd go to.
So I'm gonna go off book a little bit, and there are tax-paying members of the public here. And does anyone from the public have any input?
Yeah, I'll speak up. I'm of the firm opinion, and I'm sorry, Christina, but I'm of the firm opinion that you should take as much as you possibly can from the unexpended fund balance. Understanding that you'll get about 350 to 4, whatever the building sells for back here in a short amount of time, hopefully. I would certainly look in the ballpark of at least that 600, knocking $1 off. All things considered, I think if you take $1 off that prospective hit, the school increase and the modest town increase, that's a win.
Yep.
That's a win with all of the things that we've had to do in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I just have to add 2 things. So one, also don't forget, the amount you take off this year and you don't change your budget next year, you're going to have to figure out how much money you can offset it again next year. That's 1. 2, the spring, we've been told that the school is redoing their tax rate, if the state approves it. I don't know what that means for us yet. And part of why they're doing it is because the estimate in the spring currently would be based on 7 towns. They're redoing it based on 4, but if they don't change their budget and it's on 4, I don't know what that is going to do to us either, so.
I get that, but that's,
100%.
that's nothing that we have
Those 3
control
towns.
over,
No, it's out of our
and
hands.
that's gonna be felt regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, Christine, I know,
Oh, no, I
Yeah.
know.
but
Well, those 3 towns only pay 18% of the entire budget, so it's
Yeah.
not, it's not, 3/7.
Right.
Yeah.
It's much less than that.
Right.
So it's not gonna be as much of an impact as.
So
And
are we
we-
putting anything into the fund balance at the end of this year?
We don't know yet. We won't know until we do our audit. We should be, because we're at a spending freeze and we're gonna encumber some money, but the only other thing is if the more fund balance, and I'm for whatever you wanna do, but the more fund balance you use until we sell that building, if something happens between now and then, we have no money.
Carol?
So,
So, for people watching and for me, for a long time, we've had this large amount of money as an expended fund balance. When was the last time we had to take 200,000 out of that as a chunk of use for an emergency? When did we have to do that? Well, and why would we have to do that?
we would have been to with COVID if they hadn't given out money.
Okay.
What for?
Well, because we didn't have enough money coming in at COVID.
Oh, as far, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we might have had to, let me rephrase that. I don't know for sure, because I wasn't in this position in COVID.
I
But we
can
might
think
have.
of,
I guess,
I can think of times when you wait on OSHA reimbursement
FEMA.
on washouts and such.
Yeah,
That,
which we've been lucky with the washouts last year.
Yeah.
We were able to
FEMA?
fund them in the budget.
We had to fund them in the budget.
We-
well, not so much FEMA, but the,
Right.
the declaration of,
Gotcha.
emergency
Right.
declaration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's my only,
It'd still be, what, 800,000?
Yeah, this is, which one was this?
If you
This
take-
is 500, let me go to the other
which
one.
one, slower, which one do you want?
So,
I hate to
so
be, I hate to
this
be
is
this
the
way.
500,000. If you look here, the fund balance to reduce the taxes, this is 500,000. Technically, I think this is 10K. This is the amount of overlay that would actually be used, which covers us, because I did double check that. So when you roll down further, it would leave you 994,000. That's the 500,000. If you go to 600,000 and roll down, it would leave 894, which is just above the minimum, but,
Before the sale of the building.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And the other
that's a
one.
huge,
okay, there's,
is it just me or is it just a, I know I'm still, it's just a huge amount of money to leave sitting around. People don't do that at home.
no,
But
You know,
it's a
people-
recommendation by
I
DRA.
get it, but if, you know,
Not
there's a lot
every
of
town, not every
recommendations.
town does it.
sometimes towns go with zero.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of recommendations in my life for how I'm supposed to
Yeah.
budget money, and then you have to buy food and pay your insurance and buy gas and all those recommendations or whatever they are. I mean, that's a.
But that money
it's-
isn't just sitting around either.
It's not really money either.
It's
You
not
have to
all
realize-
money.
You have to
Oh, no,
realize
please-
it's
please
not.
don't do that.
It isn't.
A flashback to the state. How did that money disappear at the end of the year?
Yeah.
Well, we really didn't have it. No, wait.
And it's really, it's not all cash, it's not all sitting in an account.
Right.
But, I can't tell you, I can't think of the right words to
It's-
explain it to you, but it's not all, but.
It's to explain it, it's an accounting principle on it. So
It is.
it's the same as accrual accounting. I mean, you have inventory that is there, you have liabilities, which are, it's, I'm trying to think, okay, it's the same as, you sent out bills for $800,000 and they haven't been paid yet.
Oh,
But
that's a good point.
Those are that's potential money that you will get.
Yeah.
You
Right.
don't have that money in the bank right now, but it's
But, yeah.
It's on
considered,
your books.
it's considered an asset. So it's not exactly that, but it's the same type of thing,
Right.
where it's not actual money in the bank,
Yeah,
but in the accounting world, it's a number that's there.
So does that mean any unpaid taxes are considered part of the fund balance?
yes.
That would be in there, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So some towns will do that, they'll find out what their unpaid taxes are and make sure they keep that in there to cover it. Some towns will keep a couple of months in case they have a problem, that they could keep paying their bills if
Yeah.
something happened.
So you're telling me, are you telling me that if we had an $800,000
And you can't spend
emergency
it without
cleanup, we wouldn't have the money to do that? From a
Well-
huge storm and the
Well, you
roads were
can't-
destroyed, the dam blew out.
No,
permission. You can't
It
go
wouldn't
to,
be
you
there.
have to go to the DRA to get permission to spend it too. This is the only time you can spend it technically.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion.
Well, yeah, before we do all this, there's another thing to consider here.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, it's nice, let's make it that we don't raise taxes, okay? Taxes, if we spend 600,000 where there are taxes are gonna go up only 5 cents. You have to consider cash flow for the next year.
Right.
Our budget that's proposed for next year is gonna go up. If we keep the same amount of revenue coming in that we have this year, and we pass a budget that's gonna be higher next year, at the end of the year, we're gonna be taking a tan again because we don't have the income coming in.
Well, and.
So
we
you
all-
do have to consider that when you're doing the tax rate.
That's what I
You
mentioned.
can hurt
about-
yourself a lot by saying, oh, we're gonna, look at this, we can lower our taxes $1. it's gonna bite you really hard the next year.
But what about the reval? Is that gonna be?
That doesn't matter, because.
So the reval will usually wash, usually the reval will bring your values up and your rate will come down. But
The
it
reval-
The
washes.
budget number's still.
The reval is always this,
Yeah,
it's always a wash because the amount of revenue stays the same.
not,
It's
well.
reval.
The amount of revenues is a constant, and your valuation and tax rate float to give you exactly the same amount of revenue.
They don't
All
wash
the reval
exact,
would get
though.
me.
No.
They don't
No, you
wash
do get it.
exact.
You do get an increase in revenue because you will have properties that will be paying,
Or vice
will be
versa.
paying more.
Right,
But
so
you'll
like,
have just as many paying less.
But only for that
No.
first year, right?
so when we did the
Right.
reval this last time, the Lake District went up 18%. Everybody else went up as well, not as high.
Right.
So there was no offset
But
there.
the tax rate goes down. when
The tax rate does go
It
down,
does
but
go
it's not
down.
always a wash.
It's not always a wash.
Yeah.
And it's,
Your
the other-
amount, the amount you collect is always the same.
Right.
You
The
can't reevaluate and collect more
budget- the budget
taxes.
doesn't go
You
up.
collect the amount of taxes based on your budget, not on your valuation.
Right.
So let's say hypothetically, we
But not
talk
for
about
the
your
other
scenario, we're in the same scenario next October that we were this October, where we're looking at taking a tan. We still, no matter what the fund balance was, we still would have been in the same position.
Right, because,
Because we wouldn't needed DRA's permission to spend
Right.
any money out of that fund balance.
And we wouldn't have had enough anyway.
yeah,
Right.
what, what I'm saying
And
is,
it doesn't actually exist.
But we are-
that's actually gonna happen sooner.
yes,
If you,
yes.
if you lower your tax rate artificially, that's gonna happen a lot sooner. I'll take you back to quite a few years ago, when there was a certain miscalculation
Mhm.
because of the Central Street Bridge. There was, revenue was counted twice,
Right.
and the tax rate was set, it was actually lowered.
Yeah.
Based on that,
Based on that,
yeah.
we had to take a massive tan that year because we didn't have enough cash, and the tax rate the next year
It's not on
went
the
up
same.
that much plus.
Yeah,
So-
it dropped by almost $2, $14.
Yeah,
It was down to 14,
Yeah.
and we were like, we shouldn't drop that much.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna
So-
make a
so
motion
you-
to,
Yeah, don't,
I'm gonna make a motion to get this on the floor for discussion.
okay, good.
All right, so I'm gonna make a motion to apply $691,000 of the unreserved fund balance.
Well, I can't tell you what that would be, I didn't run that scenario.
Okay.
Why'd you say this? Go ahead, continue.
I'm just going
We
right to the
We
minimum,
can figure.
and we can discuss it and amend it from
Go
there.
ahead, yeah.
To apply $691,000 of the unreserved fund balance.
With a $10,000 overlay?
Well, I mean, I can't tell you, I have to run it, it could be 20,000.
Why don't we just do one of the ones you pre?
All right, let's do the 600. I'll change, withdraw my motion, I'll make a motion to apply $600,000 of the unreserved fund balance
With a $20,000.
with a $20,000 overlay.
I'll second it so we can discuss this.
And I'm gonna speak to my motion briefly. I basically concur with what Sean had brought up. I would not be proposing this if I wasn't anticipating a minimum of $350,000 to $400,000 in revenue from the sale of the old fire station, and as well as additional revenue that may be generated from that sale, as well as revenue that will likely be generated from the sale of another property that the town's,
Posting tomorrow.
which is posting tomorrow on Merrimack Street, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So I would, in my estimation, we stand to benefit a minimum of, $350,000 upwards to, probably $700,000 from both of those properties. I've heard a lot more from taxpayers in town, both in person and quite a bit online about the squeeze that's been put on people with between the cost of living and basically the cost of living and their the squeeze that they're getting from their tax bill every year. So I think we need to listen to those folks. the reval, it kind of stands to be seen how that's gonna affect everything. But coming up next year, we're also not gonna be absorbing the costs of this year, we're still absorbing the cost of the salary rate increases that were voted in last year, as well, so, I'll open it up to anybody else. Doug?
You said that we're absorbing, but by keeping the tax rate even, which is essentially what that'll do, we're not absorbing that. And with this year being this year, the budget's gonna go up again, obviously. Because costs are up. So we're gonna be faced next year with an even worse case, that taxes are gonna have to go up $1 or $2 next year if we don't do it this year. At least a little bit this year. So I'm not for paying taxes, I'm not for raising taxes. However, to keep things functioning, and like I said before, to keep our cash flow more even keel, I think we should raise taxes a little bit, rather than keeping it even with your proposal.
Scott?
My original thought was to go with the $500,000 option. Kind of meet in the middle.
I just logged in, so if you want to hear another option, I can certainly run it now
That's
too.
okay.
Yeah.
Les?
I wanna know what 500,000, I'm trying to go back and
It's
forth.
right here,
It's
sorry.
500,000 make.
$975 for the tax rate, so it's
Yeah.
about a 24%,
Yeah.
22 cent.
953 to
It would be a 22
975.
cent increase.
I think I would be more in favor of that.
And then it would leave,
The five.
I was initially thinking,
about
I was initially thinking the 450, which is about 30 cent, but I could probably get on board with the 500.
I don't wanna see us have to make a massive increase next year either though.
Yep.
So I would like to keep it more level over the years.
Carol?
So I went back and looked at my taxes. I went back and looked at 2012 and this, last year. And I think it was around 4,600 in 2012, and it's around 5,000 now. And I don't think that that's a tremendous amount of change in that amount of time,
No.
given the cost of living change. So, and believe me, I'm on a fixed income,
You don't have that side gig anymore.
I want to do a little bit.
I want a fixed income too. I can't go to my boss and say, I
Right,
need more
but-
money.
To some degree, and you've said this, to provide what people are asking us to provide is gonna cost more money. No one has come to me and said, we need to take a police officer out, we need to have less firemen, we need to get rid of a truck so the plowing takes 3 times as long. Nobody says that. So if it increases some, it's what people are getting what they pay for, because it's costing more to do everything, so.
Yeah.
I don't know that, and I agree, we wanna keep the tax rate down, but that just can't be the only reason for how we're functioning here, it can't be, because we can't function that way. You can't do that at home, because it's getting more expensive to live, you have to, so
So I'm
plus
just
seems
gonna-
like a lot, but
I'm just gonna run a hypothetical for all of us right now. So somebody with a $250,000 valuation.
Yep.
They're going to pay currently,
You doing the town or?
well, I'm doing the overall.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably the better one.
So overall,
I agree with
49?
that.
5687 is what they would pay at $250,000 currently. Do you disagree with that?
seems high.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
It's right.
That's this year's tax bill.
Yes.
Yep.
So let's go to the proposed 500,
It's 5905,
5905.
so it would go up, what, 300? Is that right? Or lower?
Yes,
687.
I just erased it by accident.
I did too.
5687.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's gonna go up a couple $100.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5,687.50 is now, and then, can't read the number,
So 500 one.
is 5905, so.
That's for 500,000.
All right, so I guess I would throw this out there. Would anybody like to amend the motion?
Scott, you were the first one to come up with it.
What does that change to?
It would change it to 975, which, what did you just say, Don, 22 cents on the town, but overall, it would be,
That's reasonable.
Okay, I'll make a
That's
motion.
extremely, that's really reasonable compared to how your cost of living is going.
Right, so that's a
Yeah.
22 cent,
it would be
22 cent per
87
thousand
cents.
increase
Overall.
All right,
Overall, it would be 87 cents.
Yeah.
do you want to make the motion or should I?
You can.
Okay.
All right, well, we still have the other motion.
It's a motion to,
So,
you're making a motion to.
I'll make a motion to amend
Yeah.
to use the $500,000 fund balance with $10,000 overlay
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion
on the amendment.
on the amendment? Any discussion on the amendment? All those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Okay, back to the original motion. Any further discussion on the original motion
As amended.
as amended?
Excuse me. And you'll notice it went from 20 to 10, again, it's some financial thing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
The 10 is perfect.
All right,
We're
so
going to do that?
It
Hearing-
behind the-
Never mind.
Don't ask.
hearing none, all those in favor of the amended motion?
A motion.
Amended motion! I almost caught myself, like Christina had to pick up on it.
That's
All
good.
those in favor of the amended motion for a 10% overlay and a $500,000 offset from the unreserved fund balance, which would make the town tax rate $975 and the overall $2362. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes and the tax rate is set.
It was 80 what for the?
87 cents overall. Let me just double check.
87 cents for the entire tax.
For the
Yes, for the
whole
entire-
tax bill, yeah, because of the school,
The school
And
went
who
up
knows where it's
57
going.
cents.
school's going to $10
And so the school,
gross.
I will touch base, the school couldn't use any fund balance to offset their taxes, right now.
Oh,
Yeah, the report that they filed had no numbers on it.
oh my God.
And there's a letter that requesting to redo their tax rate in the spring.
Yeah, they're actually required to use anything over a certain amount.
Yeah.
They
They
can't,
can't, the
they can't
DRA,
adjust like we are.
oh, the
the
DRA
town-
said they have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, for the school, they're set at
Yeah,
5 or 10% something. There's a set rate, and anything over that is automatically applied, unless there's, like they can put a certain amount of that overage into their different funds if it's
Yeah.
approved. Like they always do for the building maintenance, up to 350 or whatever. But yeah, the school cannot pick and choose like we can. They're much more restricted.
Okay.
Okay.
That was easier.
timing.
Timing, yes.
You, so I'm filing actually probably right now, with the Department of Revenue. Once the Commissioner's Office signs it, which more than likely, because we are so late, there were probably only 7 towns that were not getting their tax rate before now, so, I think we'll get it back tomorrow.
Okay.
Assessing has to do their part then, which it takes them just a little bit to verify the numbers, take a look at everything. They run a big warrant and then it gets submitted to RAMA, and then RAMA does her part and submits it to the print company.
But before I can send it to the print company, I need at least 3 of you to come in and sign it before it can go to the print company.
Yeah,
Yep,
Okay.
I'm sure we can.
as soon as.
I'll be around.
Somewhat of a vacation week, so I'm sure we can get that done as soon as possible. So realistically, when would you be able to send bills out?
Well, if I get it to Maine by the 31st before noon, they won't go out until the 7th or 8th of January.
Okay.
And we have had quite a few prepayments, so it does take a little longer now to get that into the system and then sent.
Okay.
I mean, I'll do it as quickly as I can, but it's gonna take a little longer because of all the prepayments.
Anyone have any questions on that? Anybody from the
Is it,
board?
is it critical is it critical that it's that timing? Do we wanna try to, how can we push it faster, or do we need to?
Is it possible to push it faster?
Yeah, I guess that's the question.
It's not possible to push it faster.
Okay.
Because once we get it from assessing, I have to go through the paperwork. And if I'm not here, I'll have Cheryl go through the paperwork, but when she goes through the paperwork, then I will be coming in by that time and working on it.
Okay.
My new girl is supposed to start the 30th, but I think I'm gonna tell her not to start until
Yeah.
the next, either that Friday or the next Monday, because I just can't train her and
Oh,
get
yeah,
the
that's
taxes done. The taxes are more important, so.
Okay.
Is there anything we as a board can do to help you with the process?
Just come in and sign it when I call you.
Yep.
Because I can't
Well,
send it
we'll
to
call-
me until I have at least 3 signatures.
We'll call you because we get the warrant before Rayma does,
Yeah.
so we'll make sure you get it.
Yeah.
And then we usually have you sign 3 copies. We keep one in finance, Rayma gets one, and then we keep
Yeah.
one in assessing.
So I will be available within a few hours' notice. I don't know if anybody else is going away or anything, but.
What day?
I'll be
Are
around.
you around?
Yeah.
I'll be around.
Probably the 30th or the 31st. Well, she's gonna have the warrant, Christine's gonna have the warrant before me.
I'm gonna
So-
submit it right now.
So
To
if
the
you
state,
submit
but
now,
I'll be
how
around,
fast-
so.
How fast could you, it'd be turned around if you submit it now?
well, we have to wait for the commissioner. So I think we'll get it back tomorrow from the commissioner.
So if we get it back tomorrow, are you away during Christmas week?
Next week.
You're gone?
But like I said, I'll be here tomorrow, but assessing's gonna work on it tomorrow. So I wouldn't think I would get it
You're not
until
gonna see
late
anything
afternoon tomorrow,
Yeah.
possibly Monday.
Right.
If I get it Monday, Cheryl, I will show Cheryl what she needs to do, and she can have that part done, and then I can come in and do, the rest of it by the 30th.
So she's gonna tee it up for you basically, and
I'm sorry?
she's basically gonna tee it up for you and you're
Yeah,
recommending.
Yeah, I'm gonna show her what needs to get done with it, and then she'll do that, so it'll be ready for me to start doing credits.
It's
Okay.
submitted.
Yeah.
I just submitted
So, I
it.
mean, we're gonna do it
Part
as quickly as we can,
Yeah.
Okay.
because under law, I get 30 days too after I get it.
What's that?
I get 30 days to hold it after I get it under law.
That wouldn't make much sense.
Oh,
But
jeez.
I never do that.
Well, we appreciate that.
So I'm hoping to have it out at least.
Does that mean we can hold your paycheck for 30 days?
Yeah, still.
So we're just looking at it from a cash flow
Yeah,
perspective,
I'm
that's all.
gonna do it as quickly as possible, but even if I got it up there Monday, it still wouldn't go out until the 7th or the 8th of January.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, because we're not, these 7 towns aren't the only ones that's late. I think
Yeah, and
there's, I think there's an SAU up in Conway and up.
Yeah,
that
there
way.
is, yes,
Very-
Bartlett.
They're very late
Yeah.
too.
Yep, and it was kind of the same thing with school held up the
Yes.
process, yeah. I
Yeah,
was reading that the other day. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm sure this, given the time of the year, the state's not gonna be
Yeah.
No.
looking to
Well, we-
expedite anything either, so.
We do have, I think Bartlett probably has a different municipal advisor than ours, so I guess it would depend. I thought she said she was here all week, so.
Oh.
But I just submitted it, so I'll double check with Michelle in the morning,
Okay,
hopefully.
fantastic. Well, thank you for hanging around to answer
all right,
questions for us.
thank you for inviting me in on this. It's only the
Yes.
second time in the whole time I've
Really?
been taxed like to be invited.
Let's go, John.
Thank you.
And enjoy your
Have a good
vacation.
day.
Thanks,
I'll
Carol.
be
Merry
next to you
Christmas.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Victor, hot seat.
Me?
Yep.
Oh, is it that time?
Get off your phone.
Is it really that time?
It's your turn.
No, you were.
No, I'm not. He's posted on the community Facebook page.
He's already telling everybody what their taxes are gonna be.
I don't know, let me see if I have any angry texts or, I don't have any angry messages.
I'm gonna check my
Is
Facebook.
there a way of blocking them?
So- Victor has three things.
I got VPN.
Thought it was
I forgot where's my agenda? So you can do them in any order, but we put, his first thing is a, on-call compensation proposed change. And that is under number 8. This was discussed, I don't know which number.
Which number 8 is it?
Let me look. It is the 40, she's a pro. The 4311-142.
Okay, the second.
That's the on-call compensation. We just did, did you get that? We did discuss this during budget, so, but to make it official, Victor wanted to talk to you, and we needed to have the vote done, so we can make it official January 1st if you agree.
So this is already accounted for in the budget, correct?
Yes.
Correct. We had that discussion
Yep.
when we approved the budget, and you said we'll take it up later.
Yeah, and I think we kind of somewhat agreed to this back in September when we
Yes.
discussed it, so. I don't, unless anybody really has any questions on it, I'd like to move it. And then, if there's any questions, you can answer them.
Yep.
I'm not gonna make you talk for no reason, so.
Make a motion that we approve the highway department's request to increase the on-call compensation from $75 per week to $125 per week, effective January 1st, 2025, affecting budget GL number 01-4311-142.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Carol, second by Les to approve the highway department's request to increase on-call compensation from $75 a week to $125 a week, effective January 1st of 2025. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? That's that one.
The second one is under number 8. Also, it's the 4311-30. We'd also briefly touched base on this as well during budget season. And this is the boot reimbursement. We're recommending to increase it from 100 to 150.
And if I remember correctly, this was already accounted for.
We budgeted for the 2025.
So I'll make a motion to approve the highway department's request to increase employee boot reimbursement from $100 per year to $150 per year, effective January 1st, 2025. Budget GL 01-4311-830.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Carol, second by Scott, to increase the highway department's request for boot allowance from $100 to $150 a year, effective January 1st, 2025. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Next.
The last one on this is, sorry,
Okay, now.
we need a TV over here. So is, I know, we should at some point. We talked about, whoops, wrong one. So watch me do that?
Yeah.
This one. We had talked about this previously. There is the 4312 budget, which is the projects budget. We had talked about doing budget transfers, and that's under number 8. We didn't want to do them back when we first talked about it because we were concerned about where the budget was at, and we just want to make sure that we didn't do anything to hurt the budget for Victor. So we've checked it, he's still good to do these transfers. Part of why we're doing the transfers is because the 4312 bottom line is a negative number. And it's not preferred to have your bottom line number be negative, so. I'll tell you, it's, so Victor, if you want to explain, I'll stop talking.
I have 2 line numbers that we can take money out of. One would be 4311-693, which is the salt line. And we were hoping for a mild fall to get us here. I've got one more purchase to do, and it still gives me enough to pull $10,000 out of there and move it, and then we're into next year anyway, so there's money there. And then the sidewalk line, due to the state dropping the work on Summer Street, I didn't spend that money because I didn't have that much damage to sidewalks to repair, so there's plenty of money to pull $6,000 out of there, which would cover the almost $16,000 worth of overrun in the projects. So I thought that would be the best way to compensate that without having to go. We were also looking at some supplementary money through a grant, but Christina and I had a long talk about that, and it didn't really apply, and it wasn't really going to work, and we thought that would be better to apply towards 2025's budget and work that we've got coming up there due to some failures that have happened within the last couple of months going into the winter.
So we'll be bringing that to you in 2025, but we get that extra payment, which was only for class 5.
Class 5 roads.
So it didn't really apply to what we were trying to cover here, so that's why we chose not to use it. But right now, the drainage, highway projects is $15,939 negative. So this gives it moves 16 just to cover it.
Okay,
Make a motion to approve the highway department's proposed move of reallocation of funds. Would you like it all read out? As discussed.
I'll read it out.
I'll read it out, happy to. Reallocation of funds from line 014311 sidewalks in the amount of 6,000, and from 014311 693 salt in the amount of 10,000 into line item 014312 drainage projects in the amount of 1,750, and 014312-390 resurfacing roads in the amount of 14,250.
Second.
Scott.
All right, motion by Carol, second by Scott. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. I think that's all we had you on the hook for, Victor.
No.
So there is one more thing. It's technically under encumbrances, but it will need a budget transfer potentially if the board will agree. I will get it, tell you.
And I got the new numbers for you.
Part E and C encumbrances or part 2?
So it's part 2, E and C transfer and encumbrances, if you look at that. And then you also want to look at the second one with it. We won't vote on the encumbrance yet because that's part of the next. Is this one, Victor, that you have new numbers on? This is the number I had.
Yes.
That's right?
That-
Oh, no, that's
That
all.
does not match up with the quote.
Sorry, that's all we've
No,
been
6,800 was this one here.
So, all right, I gotta explain this. So,
Yes.
Because we have questions.
yeah. So, Victor got wanna explain what's wrong with the truck?
So the new 2024 International six-wheeler was Mark contracted out and purchased when we received. When I picked the truck up, it was missing 3 coal chutes in the back and a side chute. Mark never budgeted it, never put it into the proposal or anything. It makes it so we can't really use it for what we need it for in the summertime, doing asphalt or side shooting roads. That instead of putting 3 trucks out, it puts only 2 trucks out. It cripples us in losing the ability of a very expensive truck. So the goal was I was going to take it out of the 2025 budget, but when we froze and all that, and all this money's still sitting here, I thought, hey, could we take this as like a repair item and fix the problem and go into 2025 and hold the 2025 budget? So all I was looking to do was, I have, since we froze, over money on the 2009 freight and the 2019 freight, because those are the 2 that have moved, and one is being sold and the other one is going to the spare, so we're not dumping the money into those vehicles. I got a quote and it came to the $6,800 to send the truck over this spring and have the tailgate reworked and 3 coal chutes put in and the side chute modified and built and put on it. It comes to $6,800. So to encumber the money, I have to move the money first so that it's in the one line. So I was looking to move $4,115 and $2,000.
There.
Huh?
You'll keep that there.
We'll keep that there, but move $2,800 from the 2019 to the 4,000 to give us $6,915 so that we can encumber that in the next session to fix the repairs on the truck or repair the truck.
So I don't have that in front of you, because when
Oh.
Victor and I talked, he had gone back, I told him we couldn't take it out of his line. We couldn't take it out of
Multiple
multiple lines unless it was related to.
Because it's an encumbrance.
Right.
Because it's an encumbrance, so we need to consolidate it first, and then I have to ask for an encumbrance.
So
Okay.
when I drew this up, the conversation had been that we would take this amount of money, $1,941 from the sweeper attachments and transfer it to the 2009 Freightliner.
Yeah.
That would only give him $6,056 towards the $6,800.
Because this happened, the money, because when I done all this, I thought I could take out of 3 lines, and we had talked, and she had never told me I could only pull it out of 1 line. And I found this out at 3:15 today.
So you have 2 reallocations.
We got 3 reallocations, or encumbrances, or
Reallocations.
Just-
So I
just
look
2.
at 1 for 1941.
we're not using that one because I found more money on the 2019. We're only moving, which would now be 4311,668. I want to move the $2,800 that's there and move it to 4311,665, the 2009 freight, to give me a total of 6915 into that line.
I didn't draw that up because that was after we talked.
Right, it was after we talked because I got thrown at the last minute the curveball.
668 to what? 4,300 what?
I wanted to move from 668 to 665, the 2019 freight to the 2009 freight. That'd be $2,800.91 to that line, giving me a total of $6915.95
In that line.
in that line.
Do you want to make a motion, then we can discuss it?
Sure. So make a motion to approve the proposal to move $2,800.91 from line 4,300,668 to line 4,300-665.
Second.
Is 4,300 correct, Christina, or is that 4,311?
4311?
Let me modify that, modify my motion to be from line 4311,668 to line 4311,665.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Carol, second by Scott. Discussion.
So this is primarily for summer use type maintenance work?
Yes.
All right. I know we had decided on the paving line, and I think Carol was part of that conversation. Would we look at just budgeting the shoulder work into the paving line, and having the contractor do that, and not having us do that?
We
talked about that.
So we do a lot more with a side chute than just after asphalt. There's when sides of the road are weak or sides of the road have diminished due to washout or anything like that, that's what we use that side chute for. 3 coal chutes primarily used for when we're doing asphalt patches and paves. By having the 3 doors on it, we can segregate how we're feeding the truck instead of having a guy, 2 guys up in the back in 350-degree heat shoveling it all over to the hole, or side bodying it up and now putting 1 guy up in there shoveling it to a single hole.
Okay.
So we put the extra money into the 2019 truck, and safety-wise, every way possible, it's been much safer and much faster to do the hand repairs that we're doing with hot asphalt. And I would like to continue to be able to do that, and it should have been put into this truck when we bought it, and it was neglected in the proposal.
I think it's a safety issue, right? If someone falls off the back and they get burns, it's well justified spending that money in that case.
Can I just ask you if you're gonna approve this to amend the motions for me to stamp your signatures, because I'm gonna have to prepare that document, because I don't have it for tonight.
Make a motion to amend this motion to allow the town administrator to stamp the signatures of the select board.
Second.
Motion by Carol, second by Scott, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Back to the original motion, any more discussion?
As amended.
You would amendment?
Original as amended.
Original, as amended. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great.
Now is Victor done?
Yes, because the encumbrances, you'll talk about all together.
So it was just, I thought you had two reallocations.
No, just
That was,
That was the second one.
Okay,
The first one was the repairs, the $15,000.
so now we have to vote to encumber that money.
Well, we have a big encumbrance.
She has a big, I have 3 packages in there, so.
Okay,
There's a bunch of incumbents.
There's a
All right.
bunch.
so, yeah,
So,
okay.
unless you think you'll have questions for Victor about the encumbrances, they're pretty cut and dried. We put the spending freeze on. We have ones from Ben, we have ones from the fire department, we have ones from the highway department, we have ones from the town, that we have to discuss, so.
You're good.
We're good?
Unless you think you need to stick around.
Yep. All right.
No, mine are very cut and dry. They're basically repairs and some gravel.
Excellent. Thank you, Victor.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
All right.
Merry Christmas.
See you tomorrow.
I'm gonna go off script.
Do you want, yes.
Yes, I'm gonna go, do you wanna take two, we've been here a bit, you wanna take 2 minutes? All right,
Scott and I already used the.
take a couple minutes and then we'll bring Mike right up so he's not hanging around.
Well, do you need that? Good. That needs to be non-public.
With Jeff.
No,
Oh, his needs to be a non-public.
if you're gonna be talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
Don't worry about me.
No, it's not you. Well, we gotta discuss we need to talk to you in non-public.
Who's showing?
Is he back on public?
Are you back on public?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, got it. Maybe.
You want me to pull the agenda up on the screen, Bree?
No, if I click 50 times,
Right
it'll
there.
open up here.
It's right
Make a
there.
motion to go non-public pursuant to non-public session pursuant to NHRSA 91A3, 2A, B, and C.
Second. Motion by Carol, second by Scott to go into non-public session. Roll call vote. Carol?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Rob? Aye. Les? We are in non-public.
I
Recording stopped.
Okay, let me know when you're all set. Good.
Good grief.
That
All
was-
right.
That was just easy.
Back on track. Encumbrance discussion.
Come on, let me out of here. Thank
Or
you.
did you want to do order and sewer, get rid of Jeff?
We can do that. Yeah, you wanna get out of here?
I do.
All right.
You're welcome.
You guys didn't need any more.
No, you're, I thought you were having fun and you're enjoying it.
Thank you.
I know it's
I'm not afraid to jump in.
That's
Well, call me.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Appreciate it.
I'll see you. Have a Merry Christmas.
You too, bud.
8:30, 29 PM. All right,
Sewer use ordinance?
Jeff, you're in the hot seat. Jeff's stuff is under 10. We have some explaining to do.
Was the first one the sewer use ordinance?
Yes, yeah. So the first one, the red line one, is a Word document because it won't let you convert it to a PDF. And I'm not going to. Apparently get this one to, there it goes. It's not redlined.
It's blue line.
That's the Merrimack sludge. Never mind.
Is it the ordinance?
Yeah, so the number 10 Bristol Sewer Ordinance, NHDES comments. So Jeff has been going back and forth to you. How often do you have to redo the sewer ordinance?
It's every 5 years, and actually, the last amendment that was made was not approved by DES, so.
Oh. So we have to take it out?
No, we've been working with them, just reviewing what we do have in place and taking their recommendations to bring it up to date with certain RSAs and the limits that we have to make sure that we're in compliance and our users are in compliance with the discharges.
It is in redlined, something's happened, but, none of this was redlined, most of this stayed the same. I went back in and fixed some, there was a couple of weird numbers, but I didn't see
Yeah,
any.
some definitions did have to change, which, some of the stuff we added, of course, switched the page numbers on it, so we didn't
Yeah.
catch them all, but Christine was able to capture that, so.
And then the biggest thing that I remember seeing was under Article
13, we get
10, I think.
the local
So
limits.
this, sorry, Jeff. This one, Article 10, this was all red when I looked at it, Jeff.
Okay.
Inactivation and reactivation, this whole paragraph under Article 10 was changed and added in. And then I fixed this one for you, because it didn't have an article. But
Why does it say if they're changing their sewer service, they contact the water department? Does that make sense?
Where are you seeing that?
First line.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
Should it be
town
Bristol
services.
Sewer?
Request to Bristol Water Department, is that what DES called you?
No, that might have been taken from our water rules and regulations, and that probably just carried over, because I think we mimicked what we had in that.
I can, we can fix that and make it Bristol Water and Sewer Department.
I didn't mean to nitpick, it just cut.
No, that's fine, I think.
So I can, if you're okay, I can fix that to Bristol Water and Sewer Department.
Yeah, there wasn't many changes that we had to make, but just, I'd say we had to do this every 5 years, for quite a few years. So we've got it tweaked pretty good, but basically bringing it up to, like I said, the now limits.
So on, are you on a different one?
I'm just fixing this one now. Go ahead, Phil.
There's a lot of underlying on the effluent limitations and monitoring requirements.
Down here?
Yeah, that paragraph, why is it all underlined? Is that a change or addition?
No,
This-
those are in the
paragraph
chart
above.
that way.
The words above the paragraph, in the paragraph above the table.
Oh, this is the way it was when it
Yeah, I
came to
think
me.
that, yeah, that,
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you underline it just to draw attention to it? Is that what they did, do?
I think, yeah, I think it was
Okay.
just something that we took out of our general permit.
Are you guys good with it? I mean, Christina and Jeff?
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody else have any questions before we move it?
Nothing else jumped out. I mean, I read through it quickly. We've been waiting for DES, so I read through it yesterday, and then I sent it back to Jeff and told him what I fixed, and then sent it to you last night, so.
Well, I would entertain a motion.
So I do have a question. So no number for PFOA, I see they have it in here,
Yeah, I don't know.
but
if
they
it-
don't have a discharge limitation.
I think that needs to be addressed, that's one of the things that he did say from DES is,
Yeah.
'cause I think those numbers are changing. I think it may refer to,
Is this an appendix? No.
Oh, right, because they haven't even done the dilution factor or anything, right?
Yeah.
Right.
and we are doing quite a bit of testing on both water and wastewater with PFAS. And I think they're just trying to gather that information to see what limits can be established within reason, I think.
Yep, okay, good.
So I just changed it, and I can reprint that page and put it in here, but if you're
Mhm.
okay with it, I need a motion.
Want to make a motion? Since you're tired of hearing from me?
I'm not tired of hearing from you, I love you, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, I got 2 months
Thank you.
left.
Thank you very much.
Go all down.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposed Bristol sewer use ordinance rules and regulations as they're dated 2024.
Second.
Motion by Scott, second by Carol, to approve the water and sewer,
Sewer use ordinance.
to approve the sewer use ordinance. Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Next.
I'm gonna probably have to skip the next one.
Is it the Merrimack?
Yeah, I put it in the folder for you in case you wanted to look at it, but so we've had it reviewed. Our town's attorney had a conflict of interest, so we had to hire a different attorney to review it. They did review it, they made some recommendations, there's a couple of things I had to check on, couldn't get back to it. So I'm gonna have to bring that back to you. The only concern is that it expires the end of this year. So we may have to retro on January 2nd, we'll retro an approval.
Yep.
And then we can get that back to them.
Right.
Are you okay with that?
Yep,
Jeff?
I'm fine with that. So I think they'll be understanding.
What's next on the agenda for you? Support tech.
Those are all pretty minor changes.
One of the changes, so on this, we made a couple of adjustments, but there was a couple of questions the attorney had that we had to go to contact Primex on Merrimack sludge.
I looked away and you changed that.
Yeah,
What do you want?
I haven't gone there yet, I'm just opening it. With the Merrimack sludge, the attorney made some questions about Primex coverage, some questions about, what's the other? Jeff and I have been reading.
Yeah.
So there were some questions from the attorney that we had to finalize, and I just couldn't get back to it today. So once I talk to Primex, I'll have that to you on January 2nd.
Mhm.
I had thrown it in here hoping I could have gotten back to it today. Next on your agenda is water and sewer support, not support tech, water sewer technician operator in training. This is a new job description under number 10. There's edits that look like this. I sent them out yesterday's email, but since then, we've made a couple of additional changes. Today, Jeff and I had a conference call and went back and looked at it again. Do you want to explain what
Yeah.
we took out, Jeff?
We started this with the support tech, and the support tech actually covered the water, wastewater, and the office. That's a position we were hoping to create, but we backed that out, realizing it's just difficult to even fill our water and wastewater operators. So we're hoping by getting this OIT focused on water and wastewater and not the office, would be easier for us. So we developed this by revising the previous support tech.
So we took everything.
Took everything related to the office out of it, basically, and the
So-
qualifications needed for that position.
If you saw this last night, did have the whole office section in it, and we fixed that. We did added in any other tasks and duties as assigned by the water and sewer superintendent or chief operators in this position. And then we combined the two paragraphs, and changed it to the qualified candidate must, that word's not in the clean copy, sorry. It says must be able to, the have is not in the clean copy, I caught that, but, and all of these things.
Well, that still doesn't grammatically read right.
It says it really will say the qualified candidate must be able to.
Right, but it doesn't read right when you read the bullets.
Must be, so I did fix the clean copy, let me bring that up.
Qualified candidate must be able to principles and methods of mathematics.
It says in the clean copy, use principles and
Thank
methods
you.
of mathematics and record. Use practices involved in meters,
Got
so I
it.
did fix that.
Yep, thank you.
Because I knew Carol was gonna say something.
I don't do much, but
So
thank
you
you.
just need a motion to approve this?
She has verbs in front of everything.
I was gonna say, I know, but, if you have a chance to read one of the words I crossed out under work environmental, it's pretty funny how it was worded. I'm like, Jeff, this isn't right, I'm taking this word out.
Mine's doing the word thing, it won't let me open.
Oh, the Word document will let you open again. That's okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
some of those bullet points.
Did you see
still-
that? That paragraph though?
Which-
Where is?
Yeah, some of the ones that Carol was saying, some of them you didn't catch.
Oh, what?
Go through that.
Oh, fix the
Yeah.
use and assess.
Be able to,
okay.
basic operation, be able to
Use
knowledge.
hands to finger? Yeah, we don't want to be doing that.
Did you, so you said it up.
All right, move along. Somebody want to make a motion to approve this?
That's what it says there.
As amended.
As amended?
I would make a motion to approve the water and sewer support tech operator job description as amended.
Second.
Motion by Les, second by Dawn. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
This wasn't on your agenda, but, we have to get a contract signed on the uniforms. They didn't give me they told Carrie they'd get one back today and I didn't get it. So,
Yeah, that was a 3-year contract, right? I was,
it was a 2-year, wasn't it?
we were hoping for the 2, but they only could get the least that they would do was the 3-year.
So UniFirst was in your folder, this isn't the right contract,
That's the 5-year, right?
this is the 5-year. They're supposed to be getting us an updated contract for a 3-year, and we need to sign it before the end of the year. But because it's more than 1 year, the rates are not changing, were they?
It is more expensive to go with the 3-year.
Versus the 5-year.
Yeah, but, I don't know as though we're all that happy with the uniform company.
So the reason we're going to a 3-year is because we do want to start looking at other options, and so did Highway. Highway also uses UniFirst, so we just need to have a contract in place until we do go with a different option.
So are both departments under like a similar contract, or they're?
Yes, yeah.
Alright, so there's some benefits to having a combined contract, more, right?
Yeah, yeah. The delivery day, I mean, they just come down with a bill from me, as they pretty much have the same uniforms. Although I think they did switch their pants this year. but, Same service.
Okay.
So, let me just looking, I'll send that to you later today, what does it say? A 3-year contract will be about 20% more than a 5-year agreement. So if you are okay with us moving forward with that, I would just ask if you could approve me to go ahead and sign the contract. It is gonna be 20% more, it is in their budget, it was also put in the highway department's budget. And then we can get that taken care of before the end of the year.
Somebody wanna make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the UniFirst contract for the Bristol water, is it water and sewer? It says
Yeah.
water. Water and sewer uniforms with their agreement number 0971627,
Nope, don't do that one.
or a different one. Whichever one that the town administrator cares to enumerate,
And allow her to sign off.
and allow her to sign off on that, thus so enumerated.
I'd second that motion.
Motion by Carol, second by Les. Any discussion?
I don't quite understand the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Nothing productive happens after
I
that.
think I missed
It
that.
really doesn't.
When you started for, exactly.
Jeff, you're free.
I'm free to go, all right.
Lucky.
Thanks, Jeff. Merry Christmas. Maybe see you tomorrow.
Good to
See
see
you
you,
tomorrow, Jeff.
You know. Okay, are
I'm
we
sorry.
moving along here in any way whatsoever?
I'm
Expedite this a little
We're
quicker.
down to town administrator's report.
No, we're
And one more
not, we're still
thing.
gonna do encumbrances.
Still need encumbrances.
They might have the new telephone pole in place by the time we get out.
You guys are not very nice.
Nothing to do with you.
And it get worse.
Christina's gonna set a Christina Goodwin record on this TA report tonight.
Brilliant. All right, these are the,
Accident on.
so these are the 20,
Nine.
I wanna see if
it's 09 ENC encumbrance.
We did
part
carve,
one,
I was
two,
already
three.
ready to
Looks like it's the other.
It's on the new one. Serious?
Oh, we're out of control.
What are we out of control
Encumbrances. Ready? So,
Four ninety and C.
By the spring.
Does everybody see the encumbrances?
No, I'm reading
I was looking at it.
Does anybody have any questions?
you
on
didn't
the-
see those last night. So part one is the one you want to look at first. There's KV Partners for the Pemmy Path, real quick, town report. We did offer up a adjustment on the printing line in the budget committee this week. So I asked to encumber the town report this year because I had them reduce the printing next year. Master planning is just what's left, that 4,000 from this year, which is to do the master plan chapter. Fire, because of the spending freeze, there are a couple here from the fire department, Firestorm at Fire Department Clothing, Boundary Medical Supplies, Ossipee Mountain Electronics Mobile Unit, Industrial Protection Services. So, and if you want to look at them individually, they're numbered underneath. the
So
encumbrances.
Why were you encumbering fire betterment?
So the reason I'm encumbering it is because it's $10,000 and I was trying not to spend them, we have to pay Jeff.
Right.
And so I didn't want to spend the
Gotcha.
money that now until we start getting taxes in.
All right, what's the wing for?
The HP Fairfield wing is for, oops. Mouse is sticking. Which number? Fire department. It's a wing arm, nice.
It's upside down, yeah.
Was it the sweeper?
No.
No.
That'd be a plow truck.
It doesn't say which one it's for. They had to replace a wing arm, but it wasn't something that was emergency. So it's $1,900, so, in order to get it out of this year's budget.
Probably one that got damaged or something.
Yeah, and they've got it coming out of 4311,674. I can tell you which one. It's the 2017 Ford F-550.
Yeah, it's older. 22.
The Hillstone and Lynch Pack, usually they're able to stockpile.
Could be less than that, because we'll get money.
Okay.
Usually they're able to stockpile, we didn't allow them to stockpile, so that's encumbering the money out of the sand and gravel. So if you're good with that, this one, part one, it's $42,447.68.
Somebody want to make a
I'll
motion?
make a motion to approve 2024 Town of Bristol encumbrances for a total of $42,400.
Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
$42,447.68.
Second.
Part one.
But one.
Motion by Scott, second by Don. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Part two.
Part two is, we talked about this earlier, and we did the transfer to cover it. I had to actually write on it to change it. This is the HP Fairfield tailgate and chute. It's $6,800, that would be encumbered, and it would be coming out of 4311,665, which is the 2009 Freightliner.
Hold it.
Here.
60, why does this say 6,000?
Yeah, I just wrote over it, it's 68, it got changed after.
Make a motion to approve an encumbrance of $6,800 for the HP Fairfield tailgate and chute upgrade coming out of account 01-4311-665.
Second.
Motion by Carol, second by Don. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So part three, is the warrant article for the demolition project. We have a not to exceed, we have a not to exceed number of the warrant article, which is 67,528, and we'd like to encumber that. Right now, we're gonna have the contract, how do you wanna word that?
Contract finalized.
We'll have the contract finalized, but we need to encumber the money, and so this will encumber the money, and we'll make sure that the contract is finalized before December 31st.
Move
I'll make a motion for that.
Bill Grant approved
Second.
encumbrance.
it. Motion by Don, second by Scott to encumber, what was it, 67,528 for the purpose of tearing down the parsonage building and
Dirt work.
dirt work, associated dirt work. Any discussion?
Can you just amend that to allow me to stamp your names once we confirm the contract?
When, I don't need to amend it, and we'll
I agree.
No, it's,
Yeah.
and has.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Have
Better.
the TA's
All those in
stamp
favor?
approval. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Did someone second?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Scott did.
Scott did,
Wes did.
Bless you.
thank you.
All right,
Number
Cliff
four,
notes, TA report.
an abbreviated TA report. Get it right.
I have a quick question on this one. So we took, in the budget, there are two other budgets that are in the negative. They are one-line budgets, and so it makes it kind of hard for them not to be in the negative. And I wanted to double check with the board your thoughts on it. Normally, when you have a budget, you don't want it to be in the negative. So 3 lines, sorry. The first one is under 41, it's insurance, property, and liability. One thing we have to do a little differently now with insurance and property and liability, in the past, they used to book them behind the scenes and you never saw them. So it wasn't very transparent. So what we're doing now, at the recommendation of the audit and our financial professional, we added a line in insurance, property, and liability that says insurance claims expenditures. It's a negative number, and it never be budgeted. So right now, this puts this budget in the negative of $13,266.80. However, there's a revenue on the revenue side that offsets that number. I don't think we should change that. I think that's potentially always going to be in the negative. The reason we did it this way is because I didn't want us to book in each department that number. I didn't, so if somebody had to replace a truck, it wouldn't be right for them to get that insurance hitting their department budget. And even though there's a revenue, it would hit their bottom line, and we didn't want to do that. So we put it in this insurance line, and it's a negative. It's going to always be negative if we have a problem during the year where we have to replace something.
But it's offset by.
It is offset.
With
The
same
insurance
line.
payment is on the other side, so.
Yeah.
At
It's-
minimum, it might be $1,000 difference because we have $1,000 deductible, but, on some things. But for the most part, you're gonna see almost mirror each other on the two budgets.
Seems clean and simple.
Then, the other one is advertising and regional associations. When the bills came in, they were different, slightly different, and I think it may have been crossed when we actually got the quote and when we budgeted. So it's a negative $123. I'm saying leave it. Okay. And then the last one was animal control. We budgeted $200, it didn't cover the animals, and we have to bring more. We've just brought 2 more dogs and a cat. So we're gonna, if that bill comes in, we're gonna be probably about $1,500 in the negative. I say leave it if you're okay with that.
Was that from Summer Street?
Okay.
Saw that on Facebook.
Oh, Central Street?
Summer.
Summer, oh, that's what I thought.
Budget committee, just wanted to announce the budget committee accepted the resignation of Janet Kavanaugh from their committee effective to December 7th. The committee is asking for any interested parties to submit their name or attend their upcoming meetings to see how meetings are handled. We posted it on the website and Facebook to see if anybody was interested in joining.
I would, I'd add to that we should thank Janet for all of her years of service to the town and budget committee and
Yes.
Do you want us to email her?
say it.
Do you want us to email her, or you're just thanking her?
I'm just saying it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, generally.
We can certainly, well, what do you normally do? Would we normally email someone, send a
Sometime.
card? Or-
Sometimes, yes, we've done that in
Could
the
be a
past.
Christmas card.
So, I don't think it'll get there in time, the Christmas card.
Yeah. I think, I think we should send her an email. I think that would be a good thing.
Okay.
Maybe,
The board would like to thank you.
yeah.
TA.
Well, you know. I just wanted to put it out there, I had sent you an update once it happened, but fraud is increasing, 'tis the season. We've been attracting some fraudulent activity for both, our town credit card got 15 fraudulent charges on it. I've disputed them, and they've been removed from the card. We closed the account. We had to open it again, even though we're gonna be changing to a new credit card. We just couldn't do it till we had more money in.
Were those the new cards?
No, we haven't changed to them yet because we had to have the 25,000 deposit, which would be part of the general fund. But we didn't wanna do that because we were waiting for tax bills. We also had a fraudulent check. We were paying for the water and sewer truck, $80,000 check someone intercepted and changed it, the facade of it over to their name and cashed it in Georgia.
It's the second time.
Yep, we were able to stop it on our end, we didn't lose any money. And we filed a police report on both of these. And I've also had our IT company check our systems again and just make sure there's nothing in our systems, and there isn't, so. But we did contact, is it Grapponi? Yeah, we contacted Grapponi, and they told us that they've had someone do a change of address on them and were intercepting some of their mail. They never received the check. So we're taking care of them, and that's why you'll see, you saw in the manifest tonight, there was an additional 80,000. That's not hitting the numbers again, it's just being reissued check. So,
Do we need to change our procedures for sending out payment?
we did change it on one vendor already. We were supposed to be, because we were having trouble with the other vendor because the same thing happened, but this is 3 different vendors now. We do have rules now, we put in place 2 rules. We don't put our mail in the lobby, just in case anymore. They have to pick it up from us. We also we don't allow anybody to change a vendor. Only Lindsay and I can, so. And we don't allow any changes on employee address, deductions, anything like that, unless it's been submitted in person. With the new system, they'll be able to submit those changes on their own in the system, which is their own account, so that will help in the future too.
Well, it sounds like this one was on Grippone's side, that
Yeah, they
changed
We
there.
think so. We did a check just to make sure, but, to be safe, but. Hemp Hill Tower is now lighted as required by the FAA. We were seeing some comments on Facebook, so we posted information about the requirement. There is in your folders if you'd like to see, what the light looks like on the top of the tower. It's white during the day, it's red at night. We wanted to say thank you to Ossipee Mountain Electronics and the City of Franklin for sharing in the costs. It was we split it, the town and those other 2, and we ended up having to pay $3,700, but it would have been 3 times that if we hadn't, so. Freightliner, we did post it, bids are due January 3rd. Community Power will have 2 public information sessions held at the Minot Sleeper Library January 4th from 10:30 to 12:30, 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and again on February 1st from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Representatives from Bristol Community Power as well as representatives from the Community Power Coalition will be on hand to answer questions and provide more details on electricity rates and customer options. With that said, we have our Constellation contract, which is where we've been getting a discount on our electricity. It expires at the end of the month. I reached out to Energy Committee and they're recommending that we don't sign a new contract with Constellation, which means we would be at the market rate for the next 3 months until we could join Community Power. Before we do that, I want to ask the board, I can get a year contract where right now it would be 10.10 would be our rate with Constellation. Or do we risk and just take the next 3 months and wait for Community Power?
Community Power wasn't that low, was it, last time we talked to them?
Community Power wasn't that low, we are constant, but they have to be the lowest rate or they won't go. So Constellation is saying right now that Eversource is at 0.08, but it's projected that they're going back up. I just don't know how quickly. So it would be 3 months potentially that we would be at the higher rate, and then we would join Community Power.
And what would be our advantage to doing that? Saving money supposedly. Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
so Community Power is supposed to save us money, Constellation would also save us money, but I don't wanna sign a contract if we prefer to go with the Community Power.
And remind me, if Community Power doesn't save us money, the first month we're in, the second month, third month, what happens? I can't remember, I apologize.
Then you opt out.
I think we opt out, but I think they won't go if they're not saving, if they're not the lowest rate, there's something in there that wasn't there something in there that required them to be the lowest rate?
Something like that, but then what happens to us getting a contract with someone else? Could we be shooting ourselves in the foot and ending up with a higher rate later?
Right.
Guess we don't know that, right?
I mean, we're probably safe going for a one-year contract.
With Constellation.
Then we're covering any
Yep.
unexpected, we're locked in at least, we know.
Right, and then we can see what community power plays out to look like over the next,
Mhm.
and then when it expires next year, at the end of next year, we would switch into community power.
I'm good with that.
Unless
Yeah,
you wanna check with the energy committee and see what the number is, or, no, I think we're just,
we're just covering for a year, it's short term. and-
yeah.
Holiday closings, just tomorrow, non-emergency departments are closed for luncheon from 11 to 1. That will be here, I sent you all invitations. We also are closed from 1, I put the time 1 to 2. We do our Christmas at this building. December 24th, non-emergency departments are closed at noon. All of this is posted on the website for the public. And then December 25th, non-emergency departments are closed for Christmas. One thing that was a little confusing, new staff didn't know. So December 26th, assessing land use will be closed and tax will too. So I will be here, Deb Tibby will be here, we'll be in the building, and should anybody have any questions about assessing land use or tax, we'll have a sign on the door that they can come up and see us, so.
But the transfer station's open, most importantly.
Transfer station will be open. And then January 1st, we're closed for New Year's, and the transfer station and all departments will reopen on January 2nd. I am concerned where the tax bills aren't gonna be out as quickly as we had hoped, that we may need a tan, the rest of the tan. So because it's the holiday, because we may not be able to meet again, I have a request for advance. And I was hoping that you would go ahead and sign it, and if we need it, that way we can go ahead and get the money if we need it. Water and sewer updates. The first meeting for the Central Street Pump Station and Force Main project was held on December 11th. It was a pre-construction meeting. Quite a few people in the room. I was surprised at that. We filled the table, we had people in the seats. The notice to proceed was issued December 13th, and the main part of the work will begin June 2025. And it has to be completed within 510 days. Vacation coverage, I'm working on vacation coverage. I will be out of the office January 10th through January 20th. Acting town administrator for the week will be Jeff Jardier. He's agreed to cover, and he's been very good about checking in when we need it. I've also made it clear to him if something should arise, I'm still available for a question, but he will be fine, so. He's done it before. Budget committee meeting, Les is gonna be away. So Rob, I think you and I talked about having you come
I think you're
because,
gonna be there anyway.
so now you're gonna have to be there anyway if you can.
Okay.
Want me to send you an invite?
I may have a conflict,
Okay.
so if we could have a backup, just.
When was that?
Back up to the backup.
So January 14th, I'm not there, Les is not there, and it's Chuck and Victor's first time before the budget committee. Jeff will be there too, and I'll have a list of motions, because he's got a couple things that we can have them change. So I'll make sure he has that, but I just want to make sure someone's there,
I can be on the bench.
You
so,
can,
You good?
so
okay.
Rob. and-
I will let you know for sure, but I have a potential.
Why did they think you were there anyway?
Oh, because I would
She's
have,
not gonna be.
I had already
You weren't
asked
gonna
him.
be there.
Yeah.
You were gonna be doing double duty.
Yeah, Shannon will be covering she'll run the computer, you know, we don't have to worry about that, she'll run it and share and record whatever she needs to do.
Yeah, as long as one of us is there.
Yeah.
You've got experience with budget committee anyway, so.
Public safety building updates, the Sallyport and the PD side of the building has been dealing with heating issues for a few weeks. Dead River was involved, and on December 10th, Smith River HVAC installed a new heater. The former heating contractor went out of business. Bruin is taking responsibility for Dead River and Smith River HVAC billings. In addition to the Sallyport, the fire department side apparatus-based ceiling heaters are also having the same issue. The incomplete conversion of the units has caused poor combustion and soot to foul all surfaces inside the units, and now they have to be replaced. So Dead River will be doing this, and Bruin will also be paying for this.
So,
That's interesting.
It's
so
taken
it was
care
due
of.
to the
Yeah.
conversion from natural gas to LP,
Yes.
Yes.
which is like basic 101.
Okay.
Well, that
It's
might be
taken
why
care
this
of, moving
person.
on.
Yeah, no, it's, no.
Thank you for saying that, I didn't realize what that meant, thank you.
I don't know which one's which.
It's literally just a different size nozzle.
It's a $2 part probably.
It's different spring pressure in the regular.
Yeah,
One or the other.
different ones.
If you haven't seen, the public safety building sign was installed.
Nice.
Yes, I like it.
There's a picture of it. That's on the public, that's it, I think, for the public safety building, so. Town office signage for the public, just, rededicated, oops. Yeah, that was a good one. I don't know which one it is, it's not showing me a preview. There we go. The board had previously approved the building, dedication of this building to the Barbara Greenwood. And so we installed the sign and unveiled it tonight with her family and friends. It's the Barbara Greenwood Town Office Building. We'll update the website, make some, and do stuff like that, so. Employee December anniversary dates, we'd like to thank the employees, recognize them for their years of service. Assessing and Land Use, Ashley Bureau is a year. Police, Chris Carter and Eli Schaffner, 7 years. Transfer Station, Chuck Cullen is a year. Water Sewer, Ethan Davio is a year. Fire, Gerald DeRozier is 2, Jamie Moulton is 4. Highway, Steve Jones is 36 years. One quick thing, we've had a request from a contractor, is that the last thing? We've had a request from a contractor to deliver to the transfer station. They're asking to bring their C&D. Usually it's a no. It's the church across the street. They're doing their works and the trailer outside. And that contractor has asked if he can come to the transfer station. Normally I would just say no where it's the church. I wanted to run it by the board first and just make sure. Obviously we would tell them, the contractor, that they would have to pay, but this contractor has also received letters in the past about not going to the transfer station. So we don't allow
Let's not open up
contractors.
that can of worms.
What?
If they've already received letters,
Yeah.
let's not open up
So
that can,
they
because
tried
then
to
you're
do
gonna
it
set
before.
precedents.
My concern is that once you start doing
You're
it,
gonna
someone
set
else is gonna
precedents,
say
yeah.
you did it for them.
Yeah.
And
No.
my only, and I just wanted it to come from here because it is the church, so I wanna make sure.
Well, the only thing I'd say to that is the church has done a very large favor for the town and for what they sold that building to us for the extra parking.
I
And
agree,
I
but it's-
assume that if they have to, if we don't do this, they have to pay to take it somewhere else. Would that
Is
be
the-
accurate?
Right.
Did they get insurance for that cleaning up, for the?
I think they did, I just don't know how
And
much.
this isn't a, this is not,
It's not the parsonage, it's the church.
But it has
Well,
nothing to
it's-
do with the church.
it's not, it's the contractor's responsibility. The contractor's probably charging them either way, no matter where he disposes of it, so.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't know who the contractor is, but.
Okay.
just,
So he's not doing that for free for
just so, Gail Sardo submitted her resignation. I just got it, but it says it was a resignation from the supervisors of the checklist as of November 11th. She enjoyed working as a supervisor of the checklist, but she's going to be moving away from the area. We'll find the commute daunting. I just wanted the board to be aware. I believe that they are pursuing another person to fill the position, and that position is appointed by the supervisors of the checklist, so.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep.
Okay.
Select board comments, Carol.
I have, I don't know, I mentioned this before, I don't know if any of you listen to AM radio, you know, when I'm driving around during the day. The Belknap EDC has an ad on,
Yeah.
I'm talking about our Economic Development Committee here. They have an ad on, so I don't know if it's, it must be Belknap County EDC. I have to go look, but they have an ad on saying they assist you with guiding you towards how to get loans and all
So
these
it's-
kind of things. It's a really good ad that really seems to attract attention, so I just thought it
Grafton
was.
County does, Grafton County EDC does the same thing,
Okay,
but I don't think they have an ad. Belknap County does have an ad, and you hear it on the radio.
yeah, so,
We're supposed to do a work session with the EDC in February.
and that's kind of what I was
Yeah.
thinking, was that something we could, I don't know, somehow dovetail in with something like that in some way to make it easier.
Combine
for some
Belknap
state.
and Grafton
I
County.
don't know. I went to the Fish and Game groundbreaking for the new hatchery in
Yeah,
Hampton. So, I don't know if you know the story, so the story behind that is the powder mill hatchery in Durham. So, what happens in a hatchery is you put a lot of food, a lot of fish waste, feces into water.
Yep.
And it gives a high nutrient load to the river, and phosphorus in particular. Powder Mill Hatchery, apparently that phosphorus load caused some algae blooms downstream, a number of them. And there's a dam downstream too, which holds it up and the sediment builds up. So EPA was coming to Fish and Game with a really low number of what they could discharge for phosphorus. And it was gonna be unattainable there. So with $47 million of ARPA money, what Fish and Game is going to do is they're going to adjust the production at all the facilities around the state and lower the production to get to the phosphorus levels they can meet at the other facilities, and bring much of the production here to New Hampton and build this state-of-the-art fish hatchery and treatment, with treatment. So in the long run, it will be better for the Penny River, because that's where eventually the discharge ends up, at the Penny. So, it's 26, it's a year and a half out before it's done, something like that. And so, right now, the hatchery is closed until we start working on it. So I was on the Fish and Game Committee at the house, and we had presentations on this, so I felt like I should go, so.
So what's the total project cost?
47 million.
On a fishing license?
47.3 ARPA money.
Oh.
Yeah. So that'll be a good thing. It will be good for
Yeah.
certainly the waters, the Penny River. And again, it's the same kind of idea. Any kind of impoundment or dam, over decades, everything builds up into sediments behind the dam. And if you ever have to flush it or something happens, then you get a huge load going downstream. So it's a good thing. So,
Scott?
Just Merry Christmas, Happy New Year
you,
to everyone out there.
Joe?
Not gonna make it to the luncheon tomorrow. Sorry, I have a meeting now.
I have food upstairs, I mean, last night.
I now have a meeting, but that's it.
Okay.
Les?
Same, echo Scott, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I also probably won't be at the January 23rd meeting.
I will not be at the January 23rd meeting.
So you three of you have to.
Oh wait, there's a January 23rd meeting?
Well,
Yeah,
we
we
moved
moved
it
it
from
from
the
the
16th.
16th, because
Oh, right, that's why I have a question mark.
Why did we move it once again?
Because I'm away.
Oh,
I'm away.
I did have one more. Sorry. Don't forget to send your land use chapter, don't forget to read the land use chapter and send your comments, feedback, to Joanne.
Mhm.
Tomorrow night is the luminary hike, and Saturday?
Saturday, tomorrow night and Saturday.
Saturday is the
yes.
luminary
At
hike
Slow Baker.
at Slow Baker. And, so with the Harper's conversion, there's been some issues with, how we prorate holiday and, I said it out loud. Excuse my language. Oh, well. With the conversion, there's been some issues with how we prorate for part-time, holiday and earn time. And we do it based on the hours that they are getting. So when they're hired, if they're hired for 16 hours, we prorate their holiday pay based on 16 hours, it's a percent. So the system it makes it hard for the system to do that, and part of the questions that have come to is, would the board be agreeable to setting, if somebody works from 0 to 10 hours, they get this set rate. If they work from 11 to 25, they get this set, and so on. I'm not seeing any other town do it that way, but I don't think we can do this before it goes live on January 1st. I just think it's too much to try and change. I don't think you're wanting to make a decision tonight without having more of a background on what other towns do and how it's gonna affect the people. That's my concern, but I said I'd bring it to you.
We need more information.
Yeah. I do, our crossing guard has been with us almost 30 years.
Wow.
I think it's 20-something, 28, something like that. My concern is that he is labeled as seasonal, and this is bordering on whether we talk about it in public or not. But he's seasonal, so he doesn't earn any time, ever. I don't think that's right. He's been with us that long. He's a set, 9 months of the
Right.
year. So I don't know if we need to create a different definition in our personnel manual.
Talk about it in January.
Yeah, because I do think we should revisit that.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody who's only here for the summer, that's different, but when someone's here every day doing his job, for the most part, 9 months of the year, and be considered seasonal, I just wanted to bring it up. Okay, that's it.
Shout out to the community center for the great job they did in Sands Village this weekend.
Over 1,000.
Wow.
How did the flow work with the remodel?
It worked fine. It was, they were going up and down the same staircase before. We had to go up and down the same staircase this time, but it's a wider staircase, and that was just because, we didn't have railings on the other staircase yet. So from here on out, there'll be 2 different ways to come in and then go out. It was great. Kudos to all the volunteers that made it happen.
Great job, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year.
Oh, did you mention the public safety? Yeah, the public safety building handles.
Yeah, it's with somebody seal the minutes, please.
I make a motion to seal the minutes of the 3 non-public sessions from tonight's meeting, because it's to determine the divulgence of this information likely would affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board, or render a proposed action ineffective.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Don, second by Scott, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.